Paper Mill Dam. If you're from Port Alberni, you'll recognize it as a favorite swimming hole. But the name, Paper Mill Dam, is part of the valley's history because it was here in 1894 that the BC Paper Manufacturing Company became the first to produce paper in BC, not from wood pulp, but from rags, old rope, and even fern.
It was a venture that was brought here by a person's vision, and the machinery was brought over from Scotland back in the 1892 and somewhere in that range, and set up just here on the edge of the Somass up by Paper Mill Dam. So it's the beginning of our industrial heritage in pulp and paper and forestry, etc.
The beginning of an industry that helped build the province, and among the equipment brought over from Scotland were huge stones used to grind the raw materials into pulp, artifacts that are celebrated as part of BC's heritage.
I was on the Board of Chamber, and on the property of the Visitor Centre there was this large green plaque, a BC Heritage plaque, in the grass leaning up against a tree, and we all looked at that. Well, what is that? It talked about some grinding stones, and none of us knew where the stones were. And even visitors would come to town and they'd read the plaque and ask where the stones were, and none of us knew.
Well, it didn't take Charlene long to track them down. The stones had been gifted to Macmillan Blodell and stood in a monument of sorts on Catalyst property.
I told her where they were, and she came over and had a look. And from there, the ideas just started to bloom about why don't we put these stones somewhere where people can enjoy them and see the history of the area. Yeah, this is the part that you were talking about where the stones came from Aberdeen. Yeah, because I wasn't sure about that.
It is privately owned right now, and it potentially will be sold off to another private company, and our heritage is sitting here, and what will happen. So we talked about that, and Fred immediately, of course, we would like them to be in a place where the whole community could enjoy them.
But these grinding stones aren't exactly something that can be picked up and moved easily. It will require cranes, manpower, and money.
There are grant applications we can do. There are, it's going to take a fair bit of money to get it moved. Once we get the money in place, then we can take it to the city, and they will facilitate. But yes, we are looking for ideas of where would be a suitable location for them, and we want to make sure we have the full package together when we take it to city.
What I'm learning about the community is people like to get involved, and like in this case, Charlene came up with this idea of having these relocated, and it just shows the energy here to come up with ideas on how we can continually grow and learn about ourselves and share with visitors and other people.
Charlene and Fred are actively seeking suggestions for where these historic stones should be displayed. And if you have an idea, they're hoping you'll put it in writing, address it to Scott Kenny, and drop it off at Echo Centre. And if you'd like to find out more about the mill itself, visit our Facebook page where we've posted a link to an excellent article written by George McKnight. In Port Alberni, I'm Nancy Wilmot.